guests and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on the Faith Washington Show. I'm Faith Washington, and we are live on Facebook. We are live on Periscope. We are live on the iHeartRadio app, WWNN, 95.3 FM radio, as well as 1470 AM. And I have some really cool guests tonight. I have Matthew Rocco, who is from the South Florida Manufacturers Association, which is a very, very cool group and something that you can become a member of if you manufacture things. And we also have Jay Hess, who is an advisor for them. And he has a lot of experience. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves because their list of accolades is so long that, you know what, 30 minutes would not be enough to really get through them. So, Matt, I'm going to let you start, please.
Thank you, Faith. And it's great to be here and be here with all your listeners.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And true native of South Florida. Oh. Born and raised. Two.
Both of you?
Both.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Both Jay and I.
That's rare.
Yeah.
I love it.
Grew up in Broward County, moved up to Palm Beach County a few years ago, but love it down here, and have just seen the great growth that has happened in South Florida.
Isn't it?
Unbelievable.
I love being here. It's the most exciting time.
It sure is. Yeah. And really have the pleasure of leading the South Florida Manufacturers Association, which is really cool because we get to be the connectors to the industry, connectors to the resources. So cool. Really is. And
it's powerful.
Yeah, powerful.
It's a powerful thing because people don't know who you are.
Right.
And folks, that's what we're here to do tonight. We're going to let you know who South Florida Manufacturers Association really is, how you can become a part of it, how you can connect with these two really awesome and cool guys, and how you can grow your business at a fraction of the price of what it would cost you to hire me. It'll cost you a lot of money to do that. And these guys will provide that awesome service at a fraction. And it's a very powerful tool.
Sure is.
Talk to us.
Yeah, very good. Well, Jay, if you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Well, so I'm Jay Hess. I'm a recovering engineer, I might say.
What do you mean recovering engineer, Jay? Come on, man. You got your stuff together.
Aren't all engineers recovering engineers? I don't know.
No, they're not. They're just brilliant.
Okay.
Wait,
good.
They love math and they love complex problem solving.
And that's what we do. That's my end of this deal, is to try and help solve problems for manufacturers.
Right. And so, you know something? We're talking about manufacturers. Let's, like we did before the show, I want you guys to define what is a manufacturer so that our audience understands. Folks, I don't think you guys really get what a manufacturer is. From a very low level or a small level where you start to something that is really like intensive and high level.
Yeah.
Define.
So, Faith, I like to throw out a question to all your listeners. Now they can't answer it, but in their minds. My question is, for all those listening tonight, how many of you, or how many manufacturers do you all think are in South Florida? I'm talking about Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. A lot of people I've heard anywhere from 300.
That's the exact number I would have said. It was like, okay, there's only like 300, maybe 320, something like that.
To maybe 1,000, 2,000. Well, there's over 2,500 manufacturers just in Miami-Dade County. So in South Florida, you have close to, if not more than 5,000 manufacturing companies. And there's some reasons for that.
5,000.
5,000. Amazing.
No,
those are just that classify
really,
as manufacturers.
In South Florida, I find that really hard to believe. So that's why I want you to define it.
Sure.
So they hear, what the heck is a manufacturer?
I'll give you an example of a company that could be a manufacturer that may not think they're a manufacturer. A distributor or the maker, but a distributor of ice cream. So there are companies in South Florida that make their own ice cream and distribute it. They're manufacturing.
Okay.
You have a bakery, someone that makes bread is a manufacturer.
So, like my local bakery people that make, like my croissants that I love, you're telling me that they're a manufacturer.
Technically, they are.
So they could use your services. Folks, please, please, please listen up. If you provide anything from a raw material and you create something from it, you're a manufacturer. And these gentlemen can help you grow your business. They can help keep you on point. And all it is a membership fee. Jay and Matt, what kind of membership fees are we looking at for our people?
So the memberships for manufacturers and those that are multitasking that want to go to the website, it's sfma.org is the website. But our memberships are company memberships, and they're based on the total headcount of employees.
Okay.
So they range from 1 to 10 employees, which is $495 a year.
Okay.
And that includes everybody in the company that has access to some, which we'll talk about tonight, but all of our services. And then 11 to 50 employees.
Okay.
And then 51 to 100, and then 100 to 200, and then 200 to 500, and 500 above. But you know, and the costs are really nominal.
Your costs are really nominal. When we compare that to an individual, Jay and I were talking about this, advisor or consultant. I'm a consultant. So if you hire me, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But if you become a member of the South Florida Manufacturers Association, it's at a fraction of the price, and you're going to get expert advice in helping you grow your business, or turn it this way, or do this, or sit down and find out, okay, why are things not working the way I would like them to work? And there's a lot of power there. Can you imagine if 5,000 manufacturers in South Florida started working with you? Do you have any idea how much our businesses would grow?
Huge. And you know, and we're going to get into a lot of, I think, some really cool stuff tonight, but we have fun in our association. Yeah. We have fun with the member companies that are there because we bring them together. They connect. They build business relationships. They network. They see best practices by going on plant tours. So I'd have to challenge anybody.
Who offers plant tours?
Our members.
No, but I'm saying
sure.
Nobody
does.
Because nobody wants to share. I don't want to show you what I'm doing because you'll steal it. But if people are willing to open themselves up enough to share with others what a best practice is, what a P&P is, what an SOP is, you know what? You start sharing information, then other people can grow. And it all feeds back. It all interconnects. Listen, there's plenty of room for everyone down here. There's plenty of room. There's not enough muffin makers. There's not enough. There's not enough screwdriver makers, okay? They're just not enough of anything. Whatever your gifts and talents are, there's plenty of room. Because everybody wants something different. So if you bring something to the table, let's do it. Come to the South Florida Manufacturers Association. Become a member. How do they do that? Give them a phone number and a website.
Sure. It's easy. It's at sfma.org. You'll see the tab for membership and join now. It's a real simple thing they can do online. Or they can send me an email at mrocco@sfma.org, and we can get them easily hooked up. You know, I mentioned we have fun, and you know, even last night we were in Miami Lakes for a networking event. We had 50 plus of our members there, all mingling and getting together and developing those relationships. And you know, our whole deal is how do we help our members grow and get better and save costs?
Agreed.
And you know, every industry struggles with their talent, and every industry struggles with how do we make our people get better. And a lot of what we do is we work with them on state-funded grants for workforce training, which they get reimbursed 50% of the costs.
Does anyone hear this? State-funded grants. Do you know what a grant is? A grant is something you don't have to return payment for. It's free. Free. Okay? Get it? Free. So
Like those tax commercials
thank
coming out right
you.
now. Free.
Thank you. And so the whole idea is that you're giving them something of great value to increase their business and interconnect them with other people as well.
Right.
And it's not costing them any money.
And it's interesting because these grants, they'll get reimbursed sometimes 75% of the costs.
That's crazy.
Oftentimes 50% of the cost. So oftentimes companies do training every year. There's trainings that they're going to
need to
do,
be
and they're paying
trained.
for it, and they're not getting reimbursed.
And if you don't have well-trained employees, I don't know about you, it's a problem.
That's
It
right.
was a problem for me. And I was in a very, pharmacy is a very technical business, and you better bet your technicians better be trained well.
It's funny. I heard a statement one time from someone that says, well, if I train my people, they're going to leave. I said, well, what happens
Good.
if you don't train them and they stay?
You're screwed either
You're screwed.
way.
Right.
But you know what? That's the sign of a great leader. Great leadership trains people to run the business, whether you're there or not. Great leaders train people to move on. You want that. You want to feel that your people are doing and living
Absolutely.
and being
Yeah.
in their gifts and talents.
Absolutely.
Listen, whether it's for you or for someone else, that's part of the give back. It's part of how we live on this planet, and we return what it is that God gave us. You return it to other people.
I had mentioned that we have a lot of fun at events.
I like
So
that.
something coming up that I think all your listeners will really like to attend. But in March, every year we have what's
I
called
like
a
this.
Recognition of Excellence ceremony. And what that means is we celebrate the top talent in manufacturing from an operational standpoint and also at a employee development standpoint. So if you go to sfma.org/ROE, you'll see our landing page, which gives you a holistic viewpoint. But we celebrate manufacturers of the year and employees of the year. And
love
something
it.
that Jay can talk a little bit more because he leads it, and I stay out of it for any conflict of interest. I don't want to have any hand in it because I
Right.
don't want anyone to accuse me of
Exactly.
having
Favoritism, blah,
and
blah, blah.
They
Yeah,
won
we don't
because
like that either.
the president loves that company. Look, they won. I want no part of that, especially what's going on today.
Jay,
So,
it's all on you, buddy.
It's all in you.
Yeah, it is. It
really
is.
is.
And some very, very strong volunteers.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And that's how you get those strong people in place.
It's the manufacturing colleagues that are actually acting as judges and examiners that spend their time going into these companies to try and help them and to judge them for the
Right.
award. But the good part about the award afterwards, the big value comes after the award. Truthfully,
Right.
it's nice to hang the plaque
Sure
if you
is.
win.
Right.
Right.
But the reality is we actually go back to that client and provide them written and verbal assessments and feedbacks
Ooh.
relative to how they did in the award and why.
I
And
like
so we give them
that.
their strengths and their weaknesses, and we look to things that they may want to capitalize on.
Yeah, you're never going to fix weaknesses. You can neutralize them, but you're never going to turn them
right.
into your strengths. Run with your strengths. Screw the weaknesses. No one cares. Go with what you've got. And I'm sure you have to advise people exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not going to fix that crap you just can't handle. It's all good. But that gives people hope. We were talking about something before the show about the manufacturers here.
Correct.
That in Florida it is 2 times the number of entrepreneurial startups in Florida as anywhere else. Let's hear. I want to hear that.
I'll yield to Jay on this
Yeah.
one.
My personal theory on that is that it's not that Florida is excessively entrepreneurial by itself, but I think that we have a lot of retirees. I think these are A-type personalities who eventually realize that tennis, golf, and sailing isn't necessarily
Every day.
the way to go every day. And I think they reinvent themselves, and that is the very definition.
of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love that reinvention. It's like doing a 180. You're going this way, and you're like, screw it. I'm tired. I'm going to go this way. That's
Yep.
what I did. I just leaped out of the boat and said, "Whoa, let's go."
Yeah, I think that's how we got that stat. I think that's how we've earned that title, if you will.
And it makes sense. Do you find that the people that are coming into SFMA are every age category and range, or do you find that there are many that are reaching out because they've already had a super successful career and they're like, I want to try something else, and they need help?
Probably a quarter of who I work with are serial
Wow.
serial entrepreneurs. Is
Yeah.
the term.
They've just done it for their whole
That's
life, and now they found out about you guys and said, look at how cool this is. I got to pay this nominal fee and I get help.
And I think a lot of folks, some of your listeners out there, may not realize that they actually are manufacturing stuff, because before the show we talked about an example. I was with a company. It was in the roofing business, and when, as I mentioned, we walked through their facility, and I immediately knew they were a manufacturer because just the way it was laid out. But we turned the corner, and they were actually fabricating. They were taking their sheet metal, they were fabricating, and they were doing customization for their large clients. I said, do you realize you're manufacturers? I said, we really haven't thought of it like that, but I guess you're right. So it's just taking, it could be raw materials, taking raw materials and converting raw materials. It could be taking existing product and converting it to something else. Manufacturer.
Yeah, it's not just steel.
Nope.
It's not just metal. It's not just wood. It's not just the materials that you think of. I think that maybe ingrained into our brains because we think of manufacturing as cars and boats and things like that.
Yep.
But folks, please, 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 if you're not sure if you're a manufacturer, but you create something from nothing or from, the raw materials that you use, whether it's makeup or things that you might not ever imagine, go on to SF as in Ferrari, M as in Mary, A as in Apple.org. Log on to that, and there's something there that should help them discern whether they're a manufacturer or not.
And for anybody out there that's a craft brewer, or
craft
knows
brewers.
a craft brewer, manufacturers.
Dude, you need to hook your craft brewers up with these guys. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely.
Craft brewers are manufacturers. So, and there's tons of them in South
And there's
Florida.
plenty. Oh my gosh! And look at all the help
And
that they can
speaking of
have.
which, February 13, for those of you that aren't doing anything the night before Valentine's Day, February 13, we will be at the Barrel of Monks in Boca.
What's it called?
Barrel of Monks
Where
Brewery.
is that?
If
I gotta go.
yeah, it's on the website. It's on our calendar of events.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
the Barrel of Monks
Barrel of
on
Monks Brewery,
February 13th.
So we're doing a
folks.
manufacturing tour of a brewery.
Right.
So that's where I'm going to be. That's where these guys are going to be. So you can meet us, all three of us, there on February
Yep.
13th. Barrel of Monks in Boca.
And in fact, I want to go back real quick, if we
Yes,
can,
please.
to this event on March
Please.
13, because
Yeah, I want to hear more about that because I know that's a very
it's
big
huge,
deal.
and we have a lot of fun. And this year is very significant, and I'm going to let Jay talk about the keynote speaker he landed, because he landed him, and I don't want to take any credit from him.
Yeah,
But
I like this dude.
and I mentioned we try to bring a wealth of knowledge to our industry.
Right.
So this event not only signifies excellence in manufacturing, but from a talent development, because we have Employee of the Year awards. So our
Ooh.
keynote speaker that's coming in is the immediate past CEO of General Electric Digital, the General Electric.
GE, folks. Baby, the former past president of GE. CEO or GE?
CEO.
CEO of General Electric Digital.
Of GE Digital.
So-
Guys, you got to show up. So March
13 at the
13th.
Signature Grand.
at the Signature Grand. Where? Boca? Is that Boca?
That's in Davie.
It's
In
Davie.
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 Signature Grand in Davie. That's where this event is going to be held. And
And-
it's big.
Big.
It's
We're
really
expecting
big.
over 500.
It's a
it's
big
huge.
event.
Now, I'll let Jay talk a little bit about the speaker, because he brought him in. But the topic is defining digital disruption. Who's not affected by that?
Oh,
So
we love digital disruption. Wait, everything we can disrupt. That's exactly why we're here. Come on, Jay, disrupt us.
So,
disrupt us, Jay, please.
so manufacturing's no longer smokestacks and oil.
No, nope.
You know, particularly in
not.
South Florida, clean manufacturing prevails. We are seeing the transference of manufacturing to be much more digital. Digital is not meaning the office; it's actually within the production environment or in the environment that converts materials. And in absence of that, I got the feeling, you are going to struggle. Those that are adopting it now are seeing it. You've seen it on the commercials at TV. You can watch Ford make trucks. You can watch
Yes.
whatever, and you'll see that digital disruption. But it's happening all the way down to the bakery that converts cupcakes.
Exactly. And in that digital disruption is the AI.
It's
your
part of it.
artificial intelligence.
Part of it.
And what's the gold? Name the gold. Data collection, baby. It's all about the data collection. All of it.
It's about making smart decisions. That's what it's all about, right? So yeah, we're hoping that Mr.
Mr. Bill Rue.
Bill Rue is our
Bill
speaker.
Rue. That's our speaker for March 13th, 2019 at the Signature Grand in Davie,
And he's going
Florida.
to be looking at manufacturing 10 to 20 years forward
Really?
in a digital environment and helping us maybe map through what that might be in those challenges.
Interesting. I would like to hear that very much. So I will be there.
Great.
Yeah, because I really do
Look
need to
forward
hear
to it.
that. That's interesting that he could even. I can't even imagine anyone right now, as fast as things are moving and turning, that anybody thinks they could think about 20 years in advance.
Yeah.
When I can look at stuff in 5 years and think, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Right.
Yeah.
5 years is going to be ridiculous. Like we're talking holographic teaching and imagery.
Yep.
Nothing is going to be the same as it is right now.
Right.
In 5 years, 20 years, really?
No, and every industry will be affected.
Oh,
it will be
absolutely.
across every industry.
There won't be any choice because if you're not interfacing appropriately, number one, you're not going to get into the social media. You're not going to be able to get into the Googles and the Yahoos and the different space. And those things will probably be gone. They'll be not the same. I mean, unless they pivot,
Well, look at the
new-
disruptions.
brand new things are going to come out. I already know things that are going on. I'm privy to all sorts of crazy stuff. And it doesn't look like it looks right now, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So SFMA, I like that. Sally Ferrari Mary Apple.org /ROE will give you a holistic view of the event, more on the speaker, his biography. Very soon, when Jay gives me the okay, we're going to be able to put the finalists up who are up for Manufacturer of the Year.
Awesome.
And I'm sure it's going to be no different from last year. Some really cool companies that will win and will be finalists.
And the
I'm not sure how many
employees?
we're going to have, but I'm sure it's going to be close to 18 to 20 or however many you're going. But there's going to be a lot. So
That's a lot. That's very cool. And the employees too, because I think I think that as we all know, we're people. I'm a people person, and that's the only way I ever built my businesses was
right.
building those trusting relationships with my patients and with other people around me. That if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So if an employee absolutely performs at those ultimately high levels, it's a gift. You know what? And it's something that does need to be recognized and honored.
Yeah.
It's nice to be recognized outside
Yes,
of your company.
Yes,
right.
it is.
That's
yes,
the intent.
It is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And I think for the employees, we're going to have probably 35 or so.
That's a
Employee of
lot,
the Year,
Matt. That's a lot.
Candidates. So it's a red carpet. It's just a fun event. It's really
Cool.
really cool event.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I like meeting with you guys and hearing your philosophy and understanding what you stand for, that you stand for the people in these companies. I mean, we're talking about the things like being a technician, a visionary, and a leader. And if you're just a technician, your business is never going to get off the ground. 95% of businesses that start out fail. And why is that? It's because they don't know what they don't know that they don't know.
Yep.
And in that being said, something, you've got people here, like there's a whole team of people at SFMA that are able to come in and interface with you and help you to build your business. So why not belong to something that's bigger than you and grow your business to the potential that it really has, instead of just sitting there going, oh my God, what do I do next?
And in my role as president of the organization, that's part of what drives me every day is to see the association grow and the companies grow, because we can. they can belong to many organizations that they can go to a networking function and do other things.
And waste
but
time. Wait,
waste
did I
time.
just say waste time? You can network until you're blue in the freaking face, okay? Waste your time, go out and drink, and go out and eat food, and not get anything from it. That's what most networking events are about. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to blow it up. You want to create value and add value? Here we go. This is what it's about.
And talking about value, if we were to tell people that, if you're a manufacturer and we can impact your business in the millions, is that of interest, and how we can do that? And we shared this with you right, before the show. But part of another huge benefit that is to our manufacturing members is our partnership with an organization called Florida Makes, and Florida Makes is the organization that Jay's with, but it's almost like, I like to tout it, it's almost one and the same because the partnership is so tight. Florida Makes is what's commonly referred to as a manufacturing extension partnership. Every state in the union has one. Florida's is called Florida Makes, but with our members, they get access to what Jay's going to talk about, including their membership, which is a holistic advisory perspective and partner in your business and true champion for you, including your membership.
Right.
And as you saw, since 2016, we impacted the manufacturing industry with over $330 million in impact.
You know what? I hate to tell you, folks, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It could be your company, your money. You get Jay. You get
Jay.
Matt. Really? Folks, this is what we're talking about. South Florida Manufacturers Association. I got 1 minute left. Do you see this? 30 stinking minutes.
Goes
You
quick.
guys got to
10
come
minutes.
back.
You
It
have to
feels
come
like
back.
it feels
I
like
thought it was 10
5.
minutes.
It was
feels like
quick.
5 because then Jay's going to talk the whole time.
can
We'll
talk.
switch places.
Boom. Jay finish up what he does well.
So remember, March 13th of this year, we are going to be at the Signature Grand in Davie, Florida for
our 40th Recognition of Excellence
40th.
Banquet. Go to sfma.org/ROE. The whole landing page is there, and you can register and purchase tickets. And
Yes, come on, because folks, I'm going to be there. Matt's going to be there. Jay's going to be there. We're going to have a
Absolutely.
great time. They're coming back. Trust me, they're coming back. Want to let you know, this is the Faith Washington Show. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the iHeartRadio app, WWNN, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Matt, Jay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Please
you.
come back. I can't
Will do.
wait. So excited.
Will do.
All right. Take care, folks. Good night.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or